Hey y'all, Lindsay here and Fearless Coaching. Today's video is all about the power of integrative medicine in regards to a cancer diagnosis. So this video is this subject is near and dear to my heart. Integrative medicine has always been an important piece of any healing journey I've been on. And I've been on a couple throughout my life. I've run into a couple of ailments throughout my life. So the most recent was my journey through breast cancer. I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer nearly a year ago. I just finished conventional treatments and I'm continuing my alternative therapies. So let's talk about what integrative medicine is. Integrative medicine is a combination of conventional therapies complemented by alternative or natural healing methods or alternative therapies. So in regards to cancer, conventional therapies are things like chemotherapy, immunotherapy, endocrine therapy, radiation therapy, surgery, and the list goes on and on and on. And so these would be in an integrative approach, these would be complemented by alternative therapies. Alternative therapies are things like meditation, yoga, massage, breath work, supplementation, coaching, therapy, acupuncture, herbalism, nutrition, spiritual therapies. The list goes on and on and on and on. So the beauty of an integrative approach or integrative medicine is it really approaches the body or looks at the body as a whole, from a holistic perspective. So it's almost like that eagle eye perspective, being in the sky and being able to look down and see the big picture, the full picture. And so often we approach disease, dis-ease in the body, disease, sickness in the body, physical ailments, we approach it from a purely physical perspective. And the beauty about integrative medicine, complementing conventional therapies with alternative therapies, is it comes at it from a holistic perspective. So not only the physical body, but we look at the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual bodies as well. So let's take an example like stress, for instance. Oftentimes, stress has been connected to different health challenges, different ailments, different dis-ease in the body. So stress not only affects us physically, but usually it affects us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as well. And oftentimes it starts with the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. So this is an example of how something outside of us can really be affecting us on every single level. And eventually it can manifest into dis-ease in the body or an ailment. It can manifest into a physical ailment that we're experiencing. So the beauty of an integrative approach is to really create a strategy to look at the life as a whole, look at the body as a whole, and identify where we can be supported in all of these different areas, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. So what are a couple or a few of the integrative approaches or alternative therapies that I utilized during my 9 months of cancer treatment? So first of all, the conventional therapies that I partook in were chemotherapy, radiation therapy, surgery, and also endocrine therapy. So this was about a 9-month journey in total for me. So to piggyback on those things or to complement those things, I used numerous different scenarios, different strategies in regards to alternative therapies. First of all, the number one would be coaching. I had a life health breast cancer coach that I worked with. They were able to help me really identify what strategy and what structure I wanted to create in order to reach my end goal, my end result of beating cancer. Now, through this strategy and structure, we created micro goals. She provided support for me along the way. I was able to talk it out on the emotional roller coaster that I was on. I had that support from somebody outside my inner circle, somebody outside of my friends and family. She also provided accountability for me. and helped me to show up for myself, even when those times, those low points where I didn't want to show up, where I didn't want to be there. So that was incredibly beneficial for me to have a coach throughout the entirety of the process. It really helped me to stay on track and keep a positive mindset, but also to feel all the feels that I was experiencing when I was experiencing them. So not bypassing any emotion. So there's so many benefits. I could go on and on, but the next thing was an integrative doctor. I worked with an integrative doctor who really helped me map out and outline the best treatment strategy for me in regards to supplementation, in regards to herbalism, in regards to nutrition. What was my eating plan? What were the different therapies, other alternative therapies that I wanted to add in that could potentially benefit me? So it was beautiful working with her. The next thing was an RGCC test, which I will make a completely separate video about and go more in depth. But this was a blood draw that was able to help me identify which conventional therapies, which supplements, and which herbs were the best for killing my specific cancer tumor cells. This helped me identify and clarify what was most important for me to take, especially supplementation-wise and herbally, that was targeting my cancer cells. So I wasn't just taking random and sporadic things that may not have been having any benefit. I was taking targeted things that I knew were great at killing my specific cells, tumor cells. The Viome test, this was a big one for me. It tests your microbiome and it helps you to identify which foods are superfoods, which foods should be enjoyed, which foods should be minimized, and which foods should be avoided or completely eliminated. This helped me keep my digestion at tip top during the 9 months of the journey. It helped keep my immune system really high. And I felt an overall sense of well-being from this. My nutrient uptake felt really strong. Also, my inflammation markers were way down. My inflammation was down, and I attribute that to this as well. I also did things like meditation, yoga, breathwork, spiritual healings, massage, chiropractics, acupuncture. The list goes on and on. I took advantage of every possible therapy that I had at my fingertips to really attack cancer from every angle that I could, but also just to uplift myself, keep my energy high, and keep in as a vibrant state of health as I possibly could throughout this journey. So lastly, I want to go over some of the benefits that I experienced from utilizing alternative therapies, integrative medicine throughout this cancer journey of mine. So I really noticed that I had accelerated healing throughout the process. So I experienced accelerated healing. So after chemotherapy, my final chemotherapy session, nearly a week after, I didn't lose all my hair, but I did lose some of it. And I noticed it started growing back immediately. My nails were starting to grow back in really, really strong. Hair over the rest of my body was growing back in quickly. And I just felt a general sense of well-being and forward movement, and like I was healing quickly from it. I noticed this following my surgery as well. About 2 to 3 weeks out, the pain really subsided, and I was able to get back into doing basic stretches and moving my body and having the energy and having my day-to-day back and feeling like I could start to be physical and physically fit once again. Something else I noticed was I had deep, incredible sleep throughout the treatment process. So I was able to sleep deeply. I was able to sleep soundly. I woke up feeling rested, which I also think attributed to this other thing, which was most important to me, were my energy levels. Throughout my entire cancer journey, I had this incredible sustained energy level that was really unexpected for me. So prior to being diagnosed with cancer, I was so exhausted all the time. I was napping, 4 or 5 times a day. I was lethargic. I just didn't have the gumption, the life energy, the life force in me to get up and go. So I was incredibly surprised after starting chemotherapy and starting cancer treatment that I had this amazing energy, sustained energy. So I really attributed that to all the alternative therapies that I was doing. I felt so blessed for that. And the final thing, there were so many benefits, but these are some of the biggest. I mean, I can tell you more if you reach out to me, but the final thing that I noticed was I was relatively pain-free throughout the entire process, except there was one exception. Immediately following surgery, I did experience some pain there for a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, but ultimately throughout the remainder of the journey, I felt great. I felt pain-free. I had this energy as well to spend time with friends and family. I could go for adventures. I could still work full time. And this provided me with a sense of normalcy. And it also provided me with a better mindset because I had energy and I was pain-free. So my mind was in a better place. My thoughts were higher vibe. My thoughts were focused towards healing. So for me, I plan to continue. I'm finished with my conventional therapies now, but I plan to continue all of these alternative therapies on into life. I want, no matter how long I have on this earth, I want to live the best life and health and abundance of health and well-being that I can possibly do. So it's important for me to be vibrant and lively and have the utmost well-being. And I know I can achieve this best through alternative and natural methods of healing and natural medicines. So thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, reach out. If you are curious about different therapies, alternative therapies, or what I did, or more benefits that I experienced, drop a comment, click on the link, sign up for a free support session. I'm happy to support you in any way I can and share as much knowledge and experience that I can. If you liked this video, if you feel inspired by the content, if you know someone who can benefit, please like, share, subscribe. I would be so grateful. Thank you so much for watching. Wishing you all the best. Be well.